Welcome to a full body deep stretch routine in our trapeze. This is an all levels practice, and if you're a beginner, suitable for you too. So I want to discuss something with everybody, and that's this concept of learning how to stretch from a place of strength. And what I mean by that is, especially in an apparatus like a trapeze, there's a tendency for us to hang in our joints. And there are moments when I'm trying to really traction and elongate. Those are moments where I'm in an inversion or maybe my downward facing dog. But typically, always, I'm moving from a place of strength. And what I mean by that is I'm never just hanging in my joints. I'm never just letting my body weight hang as I hold a pose. As I'm reaching and extending, I'm also trying to contract from within. So it's like I'm pulling inward as I'm reaching outward at the same time. That's a really important skill for us to develop as people who practice yoga in a trapeze and on the mat. So keep that in mind as we're going through our flow together. Let's talk about where we want to hang this trapeze to begin. So I'm on a very low height with my swing. This is basically the middle of my shins. I'm on the lowest height of my daisy chains. And for my handles, I'm just on my basic normal height, which for me is 2 notches down on my daisy chains. I have a 7-foot ceiling. So get yourself set and let's explore this full body practice together. We're going to begin our practice seated. Now if sitting cross-legged does not feel good to you, you'll want to extend your legs long, or alternatively you can try propping your hips up on a cushion or a couple of towels or a blanket. Once you're comfortable, relax your shoulders and close your eyes. Imagine lengthening your spine from the back of the crown towards the ceiling. Just take a moment to acknowledge that you took time out of your day to be here with me. Our goal is to work with the body and pay attention to how it feels throughout our practice. The best way our body has to communicate with us is through feeling. Focusing on your breathing on the next inhale, let your shoulders drive down the back and focus on an outward expansion through the lungs. On the exhale, feel the ribs collapse in. And try that again. Downward action of the shoulders, outward action of the rib cage. Gently side out. And opening the eyes, I want you to grab your longest handles. Extend them out to the side, and as far as your body will let you go, I want you to hinge your body weight forward. The gaze is down. You want to remain long through the back of the neck. Just gently push down into your handles and explore the movement by extending your arms towards your ears. And then as your arms come out to the side, try to sink a little deeper. Try that once more, arms forward. And you'll take this into a little swing. So with the arms reaching long, try to swing your torso from one side all the way over to the other while keeping your hip bones on the ground. Next time you lean to the right, I want you to continue to pull that right arm away from you. Release with the left and try to push your left thigh to the ground. So I'm creating a little more length by keeping that left hip rooted and grounded. Play with the angle and the direction of this right arm. Rock through center. I'm going to switch hands. So out with the left to the side and then pushing downward with the right. And again, just adjusting, see how this feels. Play with your angles and your shapes. Come back to center. Hold on to the handles with both hands. Lean back. Change the interlace of your legs. And come right through center again. Long spine. Play with the arms, extend forward, out to the side. Try to lean your body weight over to the right. Slide through a pane of glass, lean to the left. Try that again, slide through your pane of glass. Come as far over to the right as possible. Hand is gonna rotate, so palm is gonna face in. Let your body weight sink, same thing. Left hand is gonna come onto the left thigh. I'm actually towards the knee this time, and I'm gonna push away. Exhale, draw the navel back. Feel what's going on that left side. Roll your way up. Left palm comes in, so face in with the hand, bend the elbow. Let it take you to the left side. Push your right thigh down with your hand. Get heavy with your body. And just feel. Don't let the hip lift off the ground. Come back to center. From here, one more stretch forward. Gaze is down, lengthen the spine, arms out to the side. Sink through center. Release with the handle, sitting up. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, come through the back of your swing. You want to catch the shoulders. Lean back and place your feet on the floor. You can always walk right underneath your plumb line if you want. Hands are going to interlace behind the head. Give me a nice thoracic arch. Now, if this does not feel comfortable, you may need to move your swing up or down an inch or two. Add some side bends. Always feels good. You can also grab your legs. So if I'm going to hinge to the right, so I'm going to release with just my right hand. Find my shin and just kind of pull myself deeper. Keep the head supported. So I'm trying to extend my left elbow further away from my left knee. So good. And then try that on the other side. So switch your hands, support your head with the right. I'm going to pull myself in, grab the left shin, pull across, and I'm going to reach that right elbow away from the knee. Come back to center. Lift the gaze, press into the floor with your feet, lift your hips, extend your legs, and drop, right? So legs are long, give me another thoracic arch. Head is supported. Add your side bend over to the right. Keep your head supported with just your right hand and extend your left arm. Fingertip to toe. Center and over to the left. Switching hands, switching arms. Finger to toe, extending. Come back to center. You can arch over. Now, some people like to release their head completely. This is important. Lift the gaze first. You can release and gaze as forward, arms long overhead. I'm trying to push my arms back behind my ears. If you drop your head, you have to drop it all the way back. Right, so nothing in the middle. Release the arms first. If your head is dropped back, bring your hands behind your head and lift, right? So lift your head first and roll your way up. Pull the knees underneath you. Fabric is still behind you. You can hold on to the longer handles. Step your right foot forward. Now, if you have some sensitivities here, we won't be here long, but if you need to support your knee, double pad your mat or grab a little towel or a blanket for the knee. Back and forth to warm the hip up. We want to go into half split Ardha Hamanasana and into a low lunge. Now, as you come into that half split, make sure you are trying to drop the belly towards the thigh, tailbone is up, toes to face. Rock forward. Make sure your hips are nice and square, so right hip may need to pull back a little bit. And hold on to just the right handle with your left hand. Engage the glutes, draw the pelvis underneath you, and try to push the pelvis forward. Feeling a deep stretch in your left hip flexor, and then begin to pull this arm to a diagonal. So my left arm is reaching to the right, pelvis is pulling underneath me, push down into the handle with your hand. Active pressure down into the floor with your left shin. That should be very deep on your left hip flexors. Coming up, climbing to your middle handle. Same thing, I want you to focus on pelvic tilt, draw the pelvis underneath you. Begin to press the pelvis forward to whatever degree it will go, and then take that diagonal cross. Focus on left shoulder, pulling it to the right. Breathe in. Nice and slow, come back to center. Take those middle handles. Tuck your back toes as you rock forward. Higher lunge position. Chest is lifted. Push your hands down. Nice open heart. And just to give that knee a little break, we'll take this into a pyramid variation. Step that left foot a little closer in so you could plant it. Continue to try to drop the belly towards the thigh and just reach your hands forward. Gaze is down to lengthen through the back of the neck. Squeeze and engage all the muscles in your legs. Rolling up. Drop into your lunge. All right, nice open heart, downward action with the hands, knee to the floor, and back with the knees. Lacey's pacing because I can hear people cooking downstairs. So, couple rounds of back and forth. Flex the foot, draw the heart forward. She thinks she's missing out on something, which she is. Food. First lunge. As you come forward, remember this is very tempting, right? For me to just kind of sink in, right? My ego thinks I'm much deeper into my lunge. Pelvic tilt, right? So it is a pelvic tilt underneath, navel draws in, we cross center. So right hand comes to left, lower handle, begin rotation. Peek over that left shoulder, keep trying to drive the pelvis forward, press the shin into the floor. And up, climb a little higher. You want to take that middle handle, set underneath with the pelvis, navel draws in, focus on a right shoulder, pulling to the left. Keep trying to drive into the floor with your shin on the right side. Squeeze your glutes. Come back to center. We'll take one handle in each hand, right? So high lunge first, tuck the back toe, lift the right knee, downward action with the hands. Squeeze your right thigh. Rise up. We want to roll forward just slightly to get both feet to the floor. It is a hip hinge, right? So lift the pelvis, or I should say drop the pelvis, lift the tailbone. Extend the arms forward. Engage the muscles in your legs. We want to keep our hips as square as possible to the short end of the mat. One more breath, keep extending long. Roll your way up. Pop into your lunge position. Knee down. And left meets right. We'll keep both hands as they are. Begin to extend forward, lift the tailbone, drop the belly. Get as far forward as you can go, and then bend the elbows, hands face each other. Let your body weight sink. Maybe look right to left here with your gaze, if that feels okay. Sink through center. Rolling up to a kneeling position. Release the handles, inhale the arms overhead, exhale, catch behind, coming back into your shoulders. Step your feet to the floor. One more thoracic arch. Come right underneath your plumb line, arch over the fabric, head is supported. Remembering if you do want to release the arms, as you release the arms, the head has to drop all the way back. No tension in the neck. Make sure you support your head, hands come underneath first, lifting the head with your hands. We need to keep in mind that our head essentially is a 10 or 12 pound bowling ball, and we're trying to lift it with that delicate cervical spine. So always try to keep the head supported when you do your lift. Walk yourself up and back, coming up to stand. Now that I have you up here, let's go ahead and adjust our swing height. So I'm going to come up on those daisy chains, and we'll need to test the height of our swing. So you want to come up to the point where if I'm standing on my toes, this should come right about to the region of my hip flexors. So once you're set, we'll take our first downward dog. Create a little bar in front of you with your fabric. Walk into it to catch, fold forward, hands to the ground, and then float your feet back. You want to come right underneath your plumb line, so just come into a natural fold, hands to the floor, and begin to push yourself back, straightening the arms. Flex the feet and push through the heels, right? So I'm not necessarily looking for the floor like a real down dog. I'm going to push through the heels, begin to pull into the center by corseting the ribs together. Shake the head yes or no. And this pose should feel like it's strength. I'm actively pushing the ground away, extending through the heels, lengthening and tractioning my whole backside. Just give it one more breath. And then just release and soften the arms. You can come into a little fold here. Crossing the arms, maybe crossing the ankles. I do realize that there's pressure on the hip flexors. And if you're new, I apologize. It probably is a little painful, but I promise with regular practice that does get better and actually does not affect me at all. Hands to the floor, lift your gaze, walk up and out. As you come up, bring the fabric up and over and take a staggered stance. Right foot will come in front of left. It'll almost look like a little warrior two position, so you could plant that left foot out to a diagonal. Right arm is in the middle handle. Reach across center and take the left arm and dive it over your body. So I'm feeling a nice stretch in my outer right. Make sure you're actively shrugging the right shoulder away from your ear. And just get heavy. Rolling up. Left meets right, pushing back. Yes. So back foot plants. Come across your body with the left. Dive over with the right. Active shrug downward with your left shoulder. And roll your way up. Middle handles with both hands. Feet will step together. Arms come forward, lift the tailbone, drop the belly. So remember what I said in that intro about just hanging in our joints? So if I were just hanging here, it'd probably look a little more like this. I'm going to contract within and then reach long. So see if you can feel the difference in your body. Very slowly, begin to let your arms extend out to the sides. Now as they do, you're going to feel a little rotation. So my arms are out to the side and begin to fold. Hold on to your handles and just let yourself sink. Now my hands are facing each other. Shake your head yes or no. Maybe lean your body weight forward if you want a little more stretch in those shoulders. and slow to rise, coming all the way up. Find your way onto your knees. Now, if you have any severe issues with your back or you're recovering from shoulder injury, I'm going to suggest coming to the floor and working through a Sphinx position. If you'd like to try this back bend, it is a very deep back bend and a very deep chest opener. And remember what I said about contracting, similar to what we just did while we are standing. I'm going to extend forward, draw the navel in. You could always hold here if you're not feeling ready to go any deeper. I'm going to begin to let my body sink and open, right? So I'm not hanging, that would be me hanging. I have compression in my low back. I'm going to contract my core as I come in. Breathe in, exhale, draw the navel in, pull up with the arms, release your handles, and come into a prayer position. Palms face the ceiling, forehead to the floor. Slide back onto those hands. Inhale the arms overhead. Catch the fabric in your shoulders. Step onto your feet and push back. Keep the gaze forward, but extend the arms long, just like you would a mountain pose. So nice and tall, nice and long. Navel draws down, tailbone extends towards the feet. Arms will come out to the sides. Stand up, and then come through center, arms reaching overhead. Drop back. Arms behind you, tall mountain. Again, rock through center and extend forward. And one more time. Bend your knees and come right underneath your plumb line. Bring the swing up and over. This time we're going to come into a fold, but I want you to stay right underneath your plumb line. Fold in half. Hands to the floor and just settle to center. This is going to lead us into a side plank. So left hand to the floor, reach up with your right hand, palm is facing out. It is a pull. Right hand pulls. Shift your body to the side. Try to stack your hips. Here you can take side plank. Top arm reaches towards the ceiling. We've done lots of shoulder opening here, so if you want to try to explore with a bind, this is really important. Arm reaches behind the fabric. See if you can reach back and find your top foot. Energetically kick foot into hand, little dancer's variation. Release with control. And try the bottom. So bend the bottom knee back, reach behind the fabric. If you can find the foot, try a scissor action. Top leg reaches forward, bottom leg reaches back. Spiral your chest towards the ceiling. Release with control. Nice and slow, arm can come down and pivot back to center. Hands to the floor, walk forward and up and out. As you come to stand, just hold your fabric like a little bar in front of you. Slowly begin to drop into a stretch, just like a downward dog. Tailbone extends upwards, right? So explore, remember that hanging sensation? I'm gonna pull in and then reach further away. Gaze is down. And roll up. Let's try our plank to the second side. Walk into the hip flexors, take your fold. We want to stop any moving, so just come underneath your plumb line. Right hand right in front of your face, reach up with the left. Pull down, pivot. Find balance first. Heart is nice and open. You could always stay here. We've done a lot of shoulder opening so far, so exploring if you like. So reach behind the fabric, not through the middle, so important. Foot kicks into hand, opening the chest. Release with control, side plank first. Bottom leg kicks back. If you have your bind, it's a Scissoring action. I'm gonna go forward with the top, back with the bottom, spiral your chest towards the ceiling. One more breath. Release with control, side plank first, and then pivot hands to the floor, followed by hips. Walk yourself up and out. All right, from here, let's take this into a little lunge. Right knee first is gonna come right inside that swing and make a pivot with your left. So my left heel is gonna spin. Should look just like warrior 2 feet. Come out to the side. Look right over the shoulder. On that right side, keep squeezing in with your muscles. Reach and extend forward with the right. Flip the palm, nice and slow, come up. Reverse warrior, keep strong through the core. And release, holding onto that fabric. Spin the heel as you come back. Keep those hips nice and square and press forward again, coming into a lunge. Keep that right hip from leading. You can hold onto the fabric. If you feel a little more balanced, you can release the arms and reach towards the ceiling. Squeeze that back thigh. And nice and slow. Pull yourself back. Come onto the ankle of the right. You'll want to keep a nice flexed foot. Hold onto the fabric with both hands and pull your heart forward. All right, so nice variation of a forward fold. Keep driving this right hip back if it's leading. Keep the foot flexed. From here, I want you to try to go a little bit deeper. I'm going to release the fabric with my hands and come to the middle right handle. Pull your right hip back and try to extend yourself to a forward diagonal. So you should be feeling this whole outer right hip like there's no tomorrow. Extending the heart forward, draw the navel in. I'm focusing on drawing the belly towards the thigh. Try to get a little bit deeper, maybe bend the elbow, see how that goes. If you weren't awake, you're awake now. Rise up nice and slow. All right, let's make a transition. So I want you to pivot. The knee is going to point towards the ground. Nice and slow. Spin on your left foot, face away from your fabric. Keep that right foot flexed so we don't lose the fabric. And reach for your middle handles. And this is really important. As you come into this pose, I want you to focus on sending your body weight back. Right, so at no point is your knee going to protrude over your ankle. Keep that foot flexed in your swing, bend into your knees, right, and push back. So notice how far back I am in front of my ankle on the left. Try to really sink through your right hip, draw your navel in. Nice and slow, begin to rise up. You could release the foot and release the arms. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, take a fold. Inhale, lengthen up halfway, lift your gaze. Exhale, fold in half. Rise all the way up, hands overhead. And on the exhale, arms come down and through. Take your pivot and let's try that second side. Left knee comes in, behind the knee crease. A little lift and pivot. So I want to start with our warrior 2-leg variation. Control, right? Sink forward, but control it. Arms extend, right? There's a little squeeze of my inner thighs. Right? I'm not just hanging here. Look right over those front fingers. Don't go too far on this. Flip your left palm, reach forward. Nice and gentle, just lift, reverse warrior. And release. Hands can come to the fabric. Pull yourself back to center, square the hips to the short end of the mat. Come forward again. Try to keep that left hip from leading. If you feel balanced, try to extend your arms up, or you can continue to hold the fabric. Engage that back thigh. Give me one more breath. And exhale, come back. Flex that left foot. Adjust if you feel like you're not in the right place. Hold onto the fabric with both hands. And then extend the heart forward. Left hip pulls back. Long through the back of the neck. Breathe. Just gently pull the swing towards you. Rise up so you can release your hands. Come into your left handle, middle one, both hands. Foot is flexed. Try to reach to the diagonal to the left. Keep pulling the toes towards you. Look down at your right foot, make sure it's pointing straight ahead. Come as far forward as you can go, and then bend the elbows. Try to go a little deeper. Give me one more breath. Take your time, slowly begin to rise. Hold on to the fabric if you need to. Begin your pivot, so rotating the knee towards the floor. Rotate your standing supporting leg, middle handles. Remember, our weight has to go back. So from here, watch that front ankle, the knee never protrudes over. Left foot is flexed, push back. Hold with your hands, right? So put weight in your hands. Squeeze your glutes, hold here, navel draws in. Try to give me one more breath, pushing back. Coming up, you can release that foot. And inhale overhead, exhale, hinge and fold. Lengthen up halfway, breathe in. Exhale, fold in half and rise all the way up, hands to the sky. Exhale, bring it into heart center. Maybe just close your eyes and check in. How are you feeling in your body? Hopefully feeling like you're getting a little bit longer like me. And opening your eyes. All right, we're gonna take ourselves into an inversion. Now, if you're unfamiliar, I never like to keep you upside down too long. That takes a little bit of time for you to become accustomed to being in that position. So let's begin by just finding a seat. You want the fabric to not go beyond that upper thigh, so don't pull it all the way down to your knees. Arms are gonna come through the back and around. Take the handles and pull them out to the side, so this way you can drop back and wrap your legs around the swing. So as you drop back, legs will come wide and around the front. The soles of the feet can touch, as mine are, or you could flex your feet and hook them against the sides of your swing. So tomato, tomato on that one. Backs of hands to floor to stop any movement. Don't just hang here. Remember those concepts we're working on? Draw the rib cage together, gently tone the core. Hands can stay on the floor, just kind of chilling. Shake your head, yes or no. Especially if you have sinus pressure, this is not necessarily a comfortable position. You could always take a little bit of reprieve here, which is what I like to do. Hands will come to the floor and you walk towards the direction of your head. So you can come up, look forward, give yourself a little bit of a break from being upside down, less pressure in the head, and then try to sink your chest through, similar to a downward dog. And as many times as you need to do that, you can lift your gaze, coming up a little bit. Make sure you keep those abdominals somewhat engaged, sinking in. If the hands are on the floor, let them release. You want to put the weight totally back into your body in the swing. You can hold onto the fabric of your handles, or you could find the fabric of your thighs. I prefer handles when I'm in my trapeze versus my hammock. Lift your gaze, little ab crunch. Unhook your feet. And very slowly begin to come up to a seat. You can stay seated, sitting nice and tall, or you could lean forward slightly and let the elbows catch in the swing itself. Couple rounds of breath here. You want to make sure you come all the way back to what feels like you are normal. So no dizziness. If you're still working on becoming accustomed to this inverted upside down practice, I want you to maybe practice that one more time. If you're a little more versed in your swing, we're going to take an inversion. This time I'm going to go into more of that little shelf on my sacrum. So this time I'm not necessarily using it as a seat. But again, repeat this if you want to from your little seat position. You could follow my lead. So if you've been here before and you're feeling comfortable, same premise. I'm going to lean back, catch the shelf right on my sacrum. As you drop back, make sure that as you bring your legs in front, you're just not tangled in your handles. Soles of the feet can touch, or once again, you can hook your feet on the fabric with a nice flexed foot. Whatever feels most comfortable to you. I find that this variation feels, in my body, less restrictive, but I'm also used to being in a hammock as well, so that might be why. Hook one leg. So I'm going to take one knee and hook it nice and tight into that fabric. This gives me the freedom to release the other leg behind me. So you can keep a nice straight leg, focus on engaging the quad, pointing the toe. We've done lots of chest openings, so if you want to work the bind, the knee will bend. You find it with one or both hands with an active kick. I'm going to kick my foot into the hand, opening the chest. The release is controlled. Make sure your leg swings all the way around. Hook the knee behind the fabric. Swing and release. I'm going to find my way around that handle. Leg can stay straight, right? So no back pain here. That's where you might want to keep the leg straight if this feels compressive. Foot pushes into hand or hands. No strain in that neck. Don't hold your breath. The release is controlled. Make sure your leg swings all the way around. Reset at center, so soles of the feet together, or hook your fabric. Those of you who are with me, we cannot exit in the same way by grabbing the handles of our fabric because we have this narrow, we can't lift up into a seat. So you're gonna grab the fabric above your thighs. A little ab crunch up, uncross your feet, come up halfway. Hang out in your little shelf for just a moment. It is feet to floor. Catch the back of your shoulders. So either hang out seated for a moment or hang out with me. You can cross your arms in front and rest your forehead. And slowly release. Walk yourself up and back as long as you feel ready. And coming up to stand. Let's open up that seat, face whatever direction works for you, and climb into a seat. Take a handful of fabric, and this time you can pull it right up to the backs of your knees. We'll take the handles, and we can use these as little stirrups. So I want you to pull the black bar. I prefer to pull the black bar to the outside. It's a little less painful for me. Find your way into your stirrups. Black handle to the outside. And once you're here, you can pull down a little bit so you have a little more of a secure base there. Hold on to your fabric out in front of you. Feet are flexed and gently begin to pull yourself as far forward as you can go into a fold. Let your upper body relax. Look in with your eyes. Nice and slow, begin to roll your way up. Inhale the arms overhead and take a twist. Right arm back, left arm forward. Try to keep your feet even. There's a tendency here for us to use the hips to twist. So as long as your feet are even, you should be good. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands come through center. Let's try to fold to the right side of our shape. Let your body get heavy here. If you want to go deeper, you can hold on to your right foot with your left hand and pull yourself to a deeper diagonal. It's okay if your feet are a little uneven here. Inhale, center, arms overhead. Keep your feet even. Twist to the right. Inhale, twist to the left. Arms overhead. Exhale, this time we fold into that negative space on the outside of the left leg. Pull yourself in nice and tight and let yourself get heavy. I'm gonna grab my left heel with my right arm to pull in. Come back to center. This time inhale your arms up and through the back. We'll take this into a back bend. So I want you to find your middle handles. Nice and slow, support it in your arms, right? So my arms are holding up my body weight. Gently begin to lengthen, extend the arms. Make sure your head is completely relaxed. Maybe shake it yes or no. If you want to release with one hand, I'm going to hold firmly with my left and just reach my right arm long. Support your head with your hand. So if your right arm is down, you're going to hold on to it with your hand. Pull up with your left, lifting the head. Remember what I said about that head being a 10-pound bowling ball. Both hands holding on, middle handles. Come back into your drop. Release the head totally. Maybe release the left arm to the floor. Support your head. Lift your head first. Pull up with the arm. Come all the way up. Last time, fold forward. Let all the effort go. Look in with your eyes. And nice and slow, coming up. Hopefully you feel like you're ready for a well-deserved Shavasana. Now you can always come into a little bound angle pose, sitting sideways in your hammock, which is a personal favorite of mine. I am going to show you a different version of Shavasana. It's quite nice, it just takes a little bit of effort to get there. So you want to be towards the front end of your fabric. So you might need to scooch forward a bit. You want to make sure you have lots of fabric behind you, so we want to have our head supported. So our goal is to get our feet into these middle handles. So lie back, make sure your head is supported. 1 foot at a time, you want to come all the way in so the back of your heel is supported. So I'm going to climb into both. Nice and supported through the ankles. My head is supported. I am completely relaxed. Steeple or prayer your arms, extending them overhead. And then bend the elbows and come into your position. If you're lying back with me, extend the arms, maybe start a little side bend just to reawaken the body. Bend one knee and unhook the feet, one at a time. Pull onto the fabric and slowly find your way up to a seat. You can sit up tall or just take a moment to fall forward, catching the elbows in the fabric. Lean forward. And sit up. Arms reach towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, bring it into heart center. And as always, Namaste. I'm hoping you can use this one time and time again to watch yourself get longer, stronger, and leaner. Make sure you check out all of the trapeze stuff we have on the channel. It's got its own playlist. And of course, don't forget, we've got yoga and things like Pilates as well. So hopefully I'll get to work with you soon in some capacity in the air or on your mats. And until then, Namaste.